G'day YouTube, Turbo Tristan here, and in today's video we're going to meet Shannon. Shannon's the owner of a 57 Dodge 4-door sedan, a very rare car here in Australia. We're going to go for a cruise. He's going to tell us how he got it, and we're going to go over modifications and the history of the car. I hope you enjoy this video and this series. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and enjoy the video.
This morning, what am I gonna do? I gotta find my baby for the daylight crew. We're just walking the block, just walking the block.
Hi, I'm Shannon. This is my 1958 Dodge Custom Royal. It's a factory right-hand drive big block car. Has four-wheel discs, fuel injection, modern late model engine as well.
How did you acquire this car? Where'd you pick it up from?
So I first found this car when I was 14. It was a friend of my old aunt of mine. She'd owned it for many years, and I pestered her basically until I was 23 about buying the car. I used to write her letters when I was in the Navy.
Awesome.
Telling her that I wanted to buy her car. Eventually she relented and sold it to me, and yeah, I've had it 22 years.
If you don't mind me asking, what did you pick it up for back in the day?
I actually paid way too much money for it. Back then in 98, I paid 10 grand for it. But I didn't care, I really wanted it. So it was never about the money. It was always about the car. I was lucky enough to actually meet up with the former owner's nephew, Dale. He's got his own little business where he takes photos at car shows. And yeah, we were able to catch up and became mates, and he's got a fuel injected Plymouth, which is pretty cool. So we had some great shots of the two vehicles together, but this is as much part of his childhood as it is mine.
What do you mainly use the car for? What do you do with it? When do you get to drive such a beast? So
really only to selected car shows, because I don't sort of go to too many, and to the drive-in, which is a great night out for the family. We all sort of pile in, and you know, a bottle of wine and cheese platter, and off you go. How
many people can you fit in one of these?
She's a 6-seater, so you can get everyone in, and it works out fantastic.
You've done some things to modernise the car, to make it more drivable. It is an old girl, so what sort of things have you done to make the car more modern and driver friendly?
Yeah, so I suppose the biggest thing is the EFI. EFI controls all the timing as well. It's a full kit, as well as the late model radiator, which was an Aussie Desert Coolers all aluminium radiator. The biggest safety upgrade we did was the brakes. So we run four-wheel disc brake, so you can stop, and in heavy traffic it doesn't have any brake fade. Next upgrade is AC. Yeah.
One of the boxes on the window, or an actual proper under-dash unit?
Proper under-dash unit. I've done most of the initial install for the AC. I've just got to finish off a couple of little bits and pieces for it. I had a lot of help with the car, as far as businesses that have been good to me. The boys at Tony at Pro Automatics, who rebuilt the transmission. Norm over at Aussie Desert Coolers, who custom made the radiator for it. The guys at AR Trimming in Killall that looked after the restoration of the interior. They did a great job. The guys at Custom Garage in Coburg that helped me with the LSD. So yeah, I've had some really good help along the way, and the community itself the car community always helps each other. My brother-in-law's got his own custom business, so he did all the exhaust.
Nice.
And, he actually runs the club that we're in, which is the Speed Fockers. Out of Stuttgart, Germany. So
oh wow.
Yeah, we've got a small chapter here in Australia. So it's
excellent. So it's worldwide. Do you know how many members worldwide?
Couldn't tell you. There's only about 8 of us here in Melbourne, which is it's a good little club, and yeah, we do an event once a year and sort of hang out at a factory and work on each other's cars and talk rubbish.
What do you have to do to become a speed fucker?
Like I said, limited club, so yeah, we don't have many members at all, and we sort of keep it that way. What's
forward look, and how can you tell the difference for those that don't know what's a forward look?
So forward look pertains to Mopars built from the late 50s all the way through to, I think it's about 62, and it's all about the design. They almost look like they're moving when they're standing still.
Yep.
Virgil Exner was the designer, and for a lot of these cars, and he made some classic vehicles. So the Dodge belongs to the forward look era. It looks like it's going somewhere even when it's not.
The purity or the originality of the car, you've tried to keep the outside and the inside all original.
Yeah.
How much of it is original?
So the exterior of the car is original. It's had over its journey, it's had a few knocks and a few dents and things like that, but for the most part it's the original paint. The interior I've tried to keep as original as I can. I've put new carpet in it. We did a small amount of re-trimming, but everything else from all accounts looks pretty much like it did in 1958. Running gear has all been upgraded, as I said, mainly from a safety and enjoyment point of view. The original engine, which is the Big Block 350, was a bit tired, and it's getting rebuilt at the moment so we can go back into it. The four doors in the US, they cut them up.
Oh no.
Because they're parts cars.
Okay.
There's a famous sort of forward looker, James Rawa, who lives in New Jersey.
Yep.
I've been to see him a couple of times when I go and see my family in Philadelphia. And yeah, I often joke with him that if he had this, he'd cut it up and turn it into something else.
Come on, baby, come go with me. There's a joint still rocking at 3:30. If I flip you a nickel, throw it in the slide. Don't ask me for more, it's more than I got. I just wanna feel that rhythm in my feet, a honky-tonk sound with a fast bass beat. Can't say me picking them up, putting them down. Happy in a Catalina, we're riding to town. There's no point waiting, no hesitating. Got the radio dial, flip the rock and roll. Come on, baby, come go with me. Slide on in, cross the tuck and roll. Hear the get men pick it, roll down your stockings and get yourself dressed. Don't worry about your hair, it's bound to get messy. You dig my jive when you dig that sound. I'll be in the Catalina, we're riding to town. There's no point waiting, no hesitating. Got the radio dial, flip the rock and roll. Come on, baby, come go with me. Slide on in, cross the tuck and roll. Seen with your red hot lips and eyes of green, long black hair curling down your spine. Can't believe you wanna be mine. We're gonna take that juke joint by storm. No rules, no regs, no uniform. Gonna pick you up, mama, flip you right round. Happy in the Catalina, we're riding to town. There's no point waiting, no hesitating. Got the radio dial, flip the rock and roll. Come on, baby, come go with me. Slide on in, cross the tuck and roll. Come on, baby, come and go with me. There's a joint still rocking at 3:30. If I flip you a nickel, throw it in the slide. Don't ask me for more, it's more than I got. I just wanna feel that rhythm in my feet, a honky-tonk sound with a fat bass beat. Can't say me picking them up and putting them down. Happy in the Catalina, we're riding to town. Known a better one for breaking hearts than you. I was captivated by your charms until you said we're through. You left me sad and lonely, but there's no time to cry. You didn't even take the time to say one last goodbye.
Yeah, I'm old enough to remember driving around in cars without seatbelts on.
Still a habit though.
Oh
reach for it.
I did it then. I did it right then. As soon as you said it, I did it.
Yeah.
So how often do you take this old girl out?
So she goes out at best maybe a dozen times a year. We do most of our cruising in the spring and summer.
Yep.
Often driving quite regularly as well. So we go to Coburg and do the double feature, which is great. But yeah, it doesn't get out as often as I like it. I've got too many other projects and too many other fun vehicles to drive. So, but it is, every time I get in it, it gives me that sense of enjoyment. It takes me back to my youth. So I've had the car 22 years.
Yep.
And it's just been, we've been through everything, you know, rebuilt engines and small fires and broken drums. Just yeah, lots and lots of fun times.
What's the most satisfying thing about owning a car like this?
I suppose the I actually love it when I go down the shop or to a show or somewhere like that, and you see a little kid and they desperately want to come and sit in it and touch it. I let them because it's an old car and they really can't do anything to it.
Can't do any damage.
No, so I always at the shows put the kids in the car.
Yep.
Let them touch the buttons and experience it. It's got a real tactile feel. There's a lot of steel,
Yep.
chrome, not a lot of plastic, which is great. So, but it's good fun. Yeah, it's not the fastest car in the world, but it's got enough pickup to give you a little thrill.
And the sound is amazing. Like, it's half the experience, is the noise and the comfort of the chairs and just kicking back.
That's it. The boys at AR Trimming fixed up this front bench for me.
Yep.
Did an awesome job. Apart from that, it hasn't really had much done in the interior, so the experience and feel that you get is very much what it would have been like when it was new. Probably not as loud. But
Just like jumping in a time machine every time.
yeah, but it's great. The reaction of people when as you go past is you know, it's fantastic, and everyone sort of stops and has a look at it and enjoys it.
What are some of the standard features? Like there's heaps and heaps of buttons in the car, but I don't know what any of them do. And like where's the gear shift and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah. First generation of the big blocks, this car.
Yep.
And it came out with a cast iron 7 or torque flight, which is the precursor to the 727. So all your shifting's done up here. There's no park gear.
So you just push buttons over there?
Just push the buttons.
Wow.
It doesn't have a park. It's got a massive drum on the back of the transmission that holds it in place.
Huh.
So yeah,
So do you have to turn the wheel into the gutter when you park on a hill?
no, not at all. The drum's massive and holds the car really well.
Okay.
And not a lot of features. I mean, it's got a heater, a demister, and that's about it. Cigarette lighter.
H and D mean and
Yeah, that's all the air controls. This is the Custom Royal. So it was pretty much a luxury brand for Dodge, but you know, you could go even higher spec and get a whole heap of different options in your cars. Air conditioning, you could get record player, heater for the back. So there's a lot of options in these vehicles.
Do you know how many of these are in the country?
There's a complete list that it's been compiled by some people in South Australia. They've got more information on it, but the majority of these right-hand drive cars came in as complete knockdown, so they came on a pallet.
Yep.
And they were assembled in South Australia and sold as new.
Wow.
So yeah, there's probably there's a fair few forward look cars in Victoria, but and in Australia for that matter, but there's not a heap of them on the road. And when you do see them, a lot of them are original, which is nice.
Yep.
I'm just not that guy though. I'm not the original guy, so I always mess with them. So we've got, you know, 4-wheel disc brakes in this to make it safe, make it actually stop.
Yep.
Runs the late model big block, which I've adapted to the cast iron push button auto. It's got a Aussie Desert Coolers radiator in it with twin thermos out of a modern 300 Chrysler.
Wow.
So it's you can drive it in traffic, doesn't get hot. The Holly fuel injection, it starts up every time.
It's a pretty awesome unit, the Holly. Did you install that, or did you?
Yeah, no, I installed it. The guys at Dyno in Footscray did the final tune for me.
Yep.
Even though it's got its own self-learning parameters, and you can pretty much bolt it on and drive, I got them to finish off the tune so that I had a couple of different options. So they tuned it for drivability. Makes it a lot easier.
A lot nicer to cruise too.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's not the most powerful. It's not a race car. So
No.
you just want to take this thing out on, you know, nice Sunday drives into events and things.
Yeah. I mean, it's only got
Makes
a
sense.
277 diff ratio in it, so it doesn't get off the line very quickly, but it cruises very well.
But is there anything about owning this car that like frustrates you? Like, do people
yeah.
confuse it with other cars and stuff?
Yeah, I get all the time, is that a 57 Chevy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
And if you
definitely
put this next to a shoebox Chevy,
Yep.
this thing dwarfs it. So the body style for 57, which is pretty much the same as this model, which is the 58, is the first of its kind. And if you have a look at the 57 Chevy, they sort of go hand in hand with the fins and the chrome and bonnet spikes and stuff like that.
Awesome.
So a lot of people confuse it with a Chevy.
I just thought people would say that because they don't know a lot about these cars and there wouldn't be that many on the
Yeah,
road.
no, there's not.
Yeah.
You always get a few people go, is that Christine?
Yeah.
As well. So Christine was a Plymouth.
Yep.
Not that I don't like Plymouths. Plymouths are good. There's a lot of them around, and because of the movie Christine, a lot of cars have been saved, which is a bonus.
Yeah, it's an awesome movie too, Christine.
But yeah, this is a little bit different as far as I often say it's Christine's angry sister. Yeah, with the teeth on the front, it really gives it, and the way I've got the car set up.
Yeah, it's got a nice rake on it.
I've put a bit of a rake on it. It's a bit of an old school look.
Yep.
You know, we go to the steel rims because I was sick and tired of losing hubcaps. So yeah, I just go plain black steelies, and it gives a good sort of aggressive look to the vehicle. It looks like it's going somewhere even when it's not.
The rake effect is kind of the opposite to the Aussie muscle cars. The Aussie muscle cars dip down in the rear,
Yeah.
like they look like they're always launching, but the
Yeah.
American rods are sort of dip down in the front.
I mean, that stems from the look. The American look stems from drag racing,
Yep.
where they want you to basically, when you take off, to shift that weight back. So, and as you can see, you know, we're doing the speed limit here, and it's got enough pickup to do what it has to do. So it's good fun.
Such an awesome car.
Thank you.
What a great workspace.
Yeah.
You're definitely a car head. Tell me what you've got here and what's this project?
So this is a 2015 Chrysler 300 V6 with 62,000 Ks on it. I bought it as the donor car to put all the running gear into my grandfather's VC Valiant. As you can see, it has a lot of...
Yeah, I reckon half the weight of the car would be all that copper.
I'm in the process of pulling the loom back at the moment, and I'm going to yank the engine out. This is my summer project. So we're going to put the V6 with the 8-speed auto into the VC Valiant. So it should be a great ride. I mean, the engine itself in its stock form makes 300 horsepower. So when I put it into the VC, it should run a low 12 without a drama.
We'll have a very nice power to weight ratio, that's for sure.
Certainly, and it's got It's got AC as well, which is great. So I'm trying, all my new builds, I'm trying to do AC because it just makes it that much more enjoyable.
Definitely, and you can spend more time in them and go for longer drives.
So the ultimate goal for this is to, once we do the conversion on the VC, is if I want to jump in it and drive to Adelaide, I can.
What made you decide to do this? This is like a retro mod kind of thing.
I mean, there's been plenty of late model V8s into A-body. I haven't heard of many people doing a V6 conversion, and some people might say I'm wasting my time, but I actually like the idea of the V6.
Yeah.
It's got enough horsepower for what I want. You know, I'm not out there trying to set the world on fire. I just want a good handling, nice vehicle that'll behave itself in traffic. And the V6 will really suit that. They're a great engine, and like I said, with the 8-speed auto, the drivability is fantastic on it. I'm actually going to put the modern dash into the VC as well, and I may even use the column, just so I've got all the features of the cruise control and Bluetooth and those sorts of
all of that
function as well. I've already got full disc on the VC. So it stops really well.
And where did you learn these skills of hot rodding and chopping and changing cars over?
Yeah, by years of trial and error. When I was a young fella, my uncle had a shop, a mechanical shop, and I used to hang out in his shop a fair bit. But I was trade qualified in the Navy, so they taught me a lot of skills.
What was your trade in the Navy?
Not a mechanic. I was a telecommunications technician. So the wiring and harnesses and things like that don't really bother me. The mechanical I really sort of learnt over time. For
anyone out there that wants to learn, you really just got to have a go.
Just have a go. The worst thing that can happen is you stuff it up.
Come on, baby.